Number 15, Nythrag, the Gravity Dragon. We are at one of the climaxes of this story so far. In every good RPG or fantasy story, you get to not the final boss, but like the mid-game final boss, where it's just extreme. They're pulling out all the stops. You get super weapon upgrades. It's a really difficult boss, and it's super exciting when you beat it because it launches you into a whole new part of the game after that. With the defeat of Nythrag, spoiler alert, we get the Sacred Spirit Crystal, which is the most important item in the game, or I guess in the story. I think of it as a game, because it allows us to breach into the Void Realm so we can finally attempt to defeat Void in the final battle, Etude number 25. So Nythrag is a dragon that has power over gravity. She does not breathe fire, she breathes gravity. So she can pull you in and she can crush you. And that's scary, that's bad. You don't want that. So you have what we call the Chronospear. The Chronospear is the item that she is guarding. It exists in the cavern. It's got temporal abilities so that when you use it, you can actually drift backwards and forwards through time, which is the only way to beat gravity. So that means that throughout this backing track, especially in the A section of each wave, you'll hear other versions of yourself fighting Nythrag as you also fight. And if you look from side to side, you can see yourself fighting, but from just a second ago or from just a second in the future. This is a real heady one. This one gets real complicated as far as the rhythm goes. Luckily, there's a pretty strong, like a drum set sound. We're full on into kind of pop metal here. And so it's pretty hard to get lost, I would say, except for later in the etude. Let me show you where. So all of this, here's our A section, our intro. Sorry, this is our intro, here's our A section, and here's our solo section. That form happens twice, and then we end up all the way here in bar 99. Time literally breaks in the story and in the music. So let us actually go to the demo playthroughs, because I think it explains this one, etude a little bit better than just the play along does. So the demo playthrough here is the Viola Legends, my recording, baked into the backing track, so you'll hear both. So we have our cues from the track, just like everything else, and now you're hearing the viola has entered. In a lot of pop music, the snare is on beats 2 and 4. It's called a backbeat. It's part of what makes this music feel very different than a lot of classical music. Here's our main sort of fight theme. This is in a diminished or an octatonic scale. So that's a little bit of the technical focus on this one. Obviously there's some rhythmic elements here, triplets, dotted quarters and eighth notes. Trying to feel the difference between those two things. It's pretty banging music if you don't mind me saying. Then we have a solo section. This originally was improvised and then I transcribed it, so you can just play this solo. Obviously the noble version has been simplified, so that's a little bit easier. Note head notation just means pitch is not really that important. And we're back in our second sort of fight scene. So Nythrag is attacking us. You can start to hear the various versions of us going by, left and right, all over the place. It's possible to get distracted by that and lose your place, unless you're listening to the drum beat. So here we're at bar 68. Now it's an actually improvised solo. I have not written anything here for either version, so it's up to you to supply the music. You can play on a single note, you can play just rhythms on that note, you can just hold notes, you can rest the whole time, take a little break. It's really up to you. You can also wild out, like I'm doing here, and just play, just thrash, just go crazy. So we're coming up on, this is the third wave here. We're coming up on the time break. We haven't quite learned the Chronosphere yet, and that's what gets us into some trouble. So you hear, whoa! What is happening right now? So we're now in this bar, bar 100. We are just improvising with the track. We don't know what's going on anymore. There's no more reliable time. We can't trust anything that we see or hear. So that's in the story. In the music, I would just react to the track that you're hearing and kind of play into it. There's themes that are happening that have been reversed. You can try and learn those themes and play them reversed. You can play just regular themes like from here, and then all of a sudden we get to the cue for the next section. At this point, we've mastered the Chronosphere, and we are thrashing Nythrag. So this part is super epic. It's just wild. You can just play super loud, and it's super fun. And here we are to the end. And that's the sound of Nythrag falling. So if you feel bad for Nythrag, she's evil. She's pure evil. Don't feel bad. Don't get sucked into that. Next up is victory. Look, we've won our sacred spirit crystal. How joyous. So if you have questions on that one is really fun, by the way. If you have questions on it, email me at nick@nickravell.com or sign up for a Zoom cafe and let's hang out and play some Etudes together. You can ask questions. nickravell.com/hero levels. See you in the next one.